Imagine a time when homes buzzed with the hum of landlines, the clack of typewriters, and the soft glow of tube TVs. A time before smart speakers and touchscreens, when even the simplest gadgets felt magical. Back then, every home had its own unique rhythm. The smell of furniture polish, the click of the rotary dial, the whir of a VHS rewinder. But somewhere between the 1990s and now, many of those everyday treasures quietly disappeared. In this video, we're taking a warm walk down memory lane, through 10 old home items that kids today wouldn't even recognize. You might just feel the weight of nostalgia hit you as we uncover the stories behind the objects that once defined our homes and hearts. Number 1. The rotary telephone. That spinning dial sound, each click echoing through the hallway, was once the soundtrack of connection. Before smartphones, families huddled around wall-mounted rotary phones, their cords tangled and stretched across the room. Introduced in the early 1900s, these sturdy machines brought voices across miles. But dialing took patience, especially if the number had too many nines. Long-distance calls were a luxury, and eavesdropping on shared lines was practically a neighborhood sport. The rise of touch-tone phones in the 1980s and cell phones in the 1990s turned rotary dials into museum pieces. Today, most kids swipe, tap, and text, but they'll never know the small thrill of hearing that final click after the last number spun back. Number 2, the CRT television. Remember the heavy box that sat in your living room like a shrine? CRT TVs flickered with static before blooming into color. Families gathered to watch The Simpsons or Saturday morning cartoons, sometimes adjusting the antenna just to get a clearer picture. Those screens weren't flat. They curved, reflecting your face as you leaned in to change the channel manually. When flat-screen LCDs arrived, added in the 2000s, the old TVs became obsolete overnight. Their bulk made them hard to move, yet strangely comforting. That gentle hum and the warm static on your fingers when you touch the screen, gone. Kids today might never understand the satisfaction of slapping the side of the TV to fix the picture. Number 3, the VHS player. Movie nights once started with a stack of black plastic tapes and ended with that familiar phrase, "Be kind, rewind." The VHS player ruled from the late 70s through the 90s, letting us record favorite shows or rent movies from the corner store. Some families even owned dedicated rewinders shaped like cars, to save wear on the VCR itself. The tactile act of inserting a tape, hearing it whir to life, felt personal. But DVDs, Blu-rays, and streaming made them relics. Kids today scroll through endless options. We once prayed our tape wouldn't jam right before the good part. For us, rewinding wasn't just a chore, it was part of the ritual. Number 4, the film camera. Before selfies and filters, photos carried weight, literally. Film cameras, from Kodaks to Polaroids, were precious tools. Each roll offered just 24 or 36 chances to get it right. Birthdays, graduations, and vacations were captured with a click. And then you waited. Days later, the developed prints came back smelling faintly of chemicals. There were surprises too. The blurry cousin, the finger over the lens, the unexpected smile. Digital cameras and smartphones ended that suspense. Today's instant previews stole some of that magic. Back then, every photo told a story, not just of the moment, but of patience and anticipation. Number 5, the typewriter. That clack-clack-ding rhythm of a typewriter was once the heartbeat of every office and writer's desk. Each key struck with intention, each letter a small act of permanence. Mistakes meant reaching for correction fluid or starting over. From Remingtons to IBM Selectrics, typewriters shaped generations of storytellers and secretaries. When computers and word processors arrived, the mechanical charm faded. But there was something deeply human in those imperfections. The smudges, the uneven spacing, the effort. Kids today type on glowing screens that correct every error instantly, but they'll never know the satisfying ding that marked the end of a perfect line. Number 6, the record player. Long before playlists, the record player spun stories through vinyl grooves. You handled each LP like a treasure, lowering the needle with care. The faint hiss before the music began? Magic. From Elvis to Fleetwood Mac, these machines filled living rooms with warmth and static-soaked sound. They weren't portable, and scratches could ruin your favorite track, but the experience was immersive. CDs and MP3s replaced vinyl, yet a modern revival shows how timeless analog can be. To hold music, to see it move, it made sound visible. Kids today might have Spotify, but they'll never flip a record and feel that small thrill of side B. Number 7, the landline cordless phone. Before smartphones gave us constant freedom, the cordless landline phone was the ultimate household upgrade. Suddenly, you could wander into another room while talking. No more being tied to the kitchen wall. Introduced in the 1980s and booming through the 90s, these phones had extendable antennas and fuzzy audio that sometimes caught a neighbor's signal. Families fought over the good handset, and charging docks were kitchen counter landmarks. When cell phones became affordable in the thousands, the cordless phone faded into drawers and thrift shops. Kids today might think it looks futuristic, but for us, it was the first taste of wireless life. Number 8, the alarm clock radio. Before smartphones stole the job, alarm clock radios ruled our bedside tables. Red digital numbers glowed in the dark, counting down to the dreaded beep, or maybe a soft FM song to wake you up. Setting the alarm meant fiddling with tiny switches and hoping daylight savings didn't mess you up. For teens, it was the soundtrack of late-night radio confessions and early morning news. Now, phones buzz and glow beside us instead. That half-awake moment, hearing a DJ's voice before school or work, it's a kind of intimacy that no app can replicate. Number 9, the Rolodex. Before contact lists and LinkedIn, business people relied on a spinning Rolodex. Each card bore a handwritten name, number, and note. Personal tactile connections. Offices in the 70s and 80s revolved around these little wheels of paper. They represented relationships built over handshakes, not follow requests. When computers and smartphones digitized contacts, the Rolodex faded away. But flipping through one, seeing the ink-faded cards reminded you how personal connections used to feel. Today, we scroll, but we rarely remember the handwriting behind the name. Number 10, the slide projector. Before digital slideshows and smart TVs, families used slide projectors to relive vacations and birthdays. You'd dim the lights, load the carousel with slides, and listen to the soft click as each memory lit up the wall. The air smelled faintly of warm dust and film. Introduced in the 1950s and popular through the 1980s, these projectors turned living rooms into mini theaters of nostalgia. When camcorders and later digital cameras took over, the slides went back into boxes in the attic. Kids today stream memories instantly. But we once waited patiently for each image to appear, one glowing frame at a time. Our homes have changed, but their echoes remain. The hum of a CRT, the scent of polished wood, the faint buzz of a landline waiting for a call. Progress gave us speed, clarity, and convenience. But it also took away the slow magic of waiting, the physical presence of things that once anchored our days. Maybe that's why nostalgia hits so hard. It reminds us of how connected we once felt through simple objects. What old home item do you remember most vividly? Tell me in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, please subscribe. It really helps a small channel like ours keep the past alive, one memory at a time.